whole thing. It was fun. It was fun. Becky Lynch, Trish Stratus main event.
Oh, I watched it. Let me say, I didn't watch. I'm just saying, I didn't watch Bell to Bell.
Okay,
I
yeah.
definitely like, you know what I mean, went in the other room, and then my son, it was his first day of school, so
Salute. Yeah,
all kinds of stuff, man. You know what I mean. So we back and
hey,
forth.
real life, right? Like it's funny. Sometimes people will send out tweets and stuff like, "You're not a real media person or journalist if you only watch X, Y, and Z." It's like, dog, I got real life going on. Like between 8 and 5, you know what I'm saying? Like, I gotta really be like about this, like, and not even to be selfish about it, but like,
which is okay.
Me working full time, making time to talk to my old lady on the phone, trying to stay in shape and trying to have a semblance of a life outside of all this. Like, it's a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't fault nobody for just covering something if they doing it to the highest level. Only so many hours in the day. You know what I'm saying?
So there's a conversation there, because there's a difference between I can only watch or cover XYZ because my life is full.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a contingency of folks that just be like,
they just not fucking with it.
And I think that's fine too, right? The dude online who, you know what I mean, eyes might not line up and don't have a haircut, but he only wants a 125-pound woman with a slim waist, washboard abs, a fat butt, and big titties. It's fine for him to want that. You know what I'm saying? But
keep going. Keep going.
Hey, you get what you get, baby. You know what I mean? When you show up with it, I'm a high five you either way.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Do what you do. You know what I mean?
How much All In did you watch?
Most of it. Okay. I missed because life, like I was in IHOP after church with my family with the phone, like
that's real. Because it's like middle of the day on a Sunday, like for real. Yeah.
Yeah. I was in there eating the sirloin tips, and I was, you know what I mean? And I watched the first two matches. I believe what are the first two matches?
You saw the Punk match, Punk and Judith.
I see Punk now. Yeah, listen.
It's one of my favorite opening matches ever. Like it's up there. It's really good.
Because he was putting at the announce table with a whole man. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
He turned CM Punk into a putter, and then they was like, "Oh my God, he's bleeding." Yeah.
Oh yeah, they smoked that. Yeah. I always tell people this, like, you know, when we fam were growing up, the coolest thing in the world was going to your parents' friend's house who was hosting the Tyson fight. I thought that was so cool. I was like, wow, adults get together and they spend $60 and they sit around and drink and smoke Benson and Hedges and watch boxing. This is incredible. I used to love that.
Benson and Hedges is amazing.
Shout out to the Green Pack. But I thought that was so dope.
Shout out to the Pack of Green, goddamn.
Yeah, man. Well, hey, yeah. And so when I got like of age, like after college, I wanted to host like the Mayweather fights. You know what I'm saying? I was like, yo, like I'm gonna come over, we're gonna have a drink, this and that. So yesterday, like I hit the group chat, I was like, yo, y'all bring what y'all want to drink. I'm making biscuits and sausage and waffles and eggs. Like, let's do it. And so we had a good time. It was really fun, man. I be feeling bad because like I got up at like 5 o'clock to clean because like my apartment ain't dirty, but it's also like my mom always said, whenever you invite somebody over, especially for the first time, you got to clean that thing top to bottom. You know what I'm saying? So it was 5 o'clock. I'm in there. I'm going because I had a show I had to do at 10. So yeah, it was real tight in here. But boy, I tell you what, it was about 4 o'clock. I was about, I don't know, 6 margaritas in. They was like, yo, Cam, like, I know the show just ended, but if you want us to leave, I was like, man, y'all do what y'all got to do. I'm going to bed. So I was knocked out, boy. It wasn't even dark outside. So yeah, we'll see. Like this coming weekend, we got Texas football at 2:30. Like, so we go into
the game. The other orange team. Like, you know what I mean? That's cool.
All right. So
Like the orange is a little bit off.
Don't listen. So I think we go into the game. So we probably gonna tailgate, but that same night is payback, right? And it's a 3-day weekend. So my lady want to go to brunch, and so that's on Sunday morning, and then we got all out. You know what I'm saying? So like, it's gonna be one of those. And of course, like because it's college football kickoff, there's games all around the ones we're not watching. So yeah, it's gonna be one of those, man. It's gonna be one of those. Hey, if you're in the chat, so again, the Cam and Fam call-in show. All right, specifically, this exists so you can jump on screen with your boys. Speak your piece.
Get
in, get out, and let's talk about it. So, as a matter of fact, what I'll do, it don't even got to be exclusive. I will put the link in the chat.
Okay.
Feel free to jump on with your opinions on Monday Night Raw, with your opinions on All In, with your opinions on CM Punk and Jack Perry, with your opinions on there only being one women's match, with your opinions on the brand new NFL WWE title belts.
Yeah, it's 31 of them, right?
31 and a former possible. Yo, you don't want money? That's my thing. You don't want no money? Like, I don't know. I would have kept that Jacksonville belts on there. Because look, what if they one day figure it out and win a title?
Ha! I mean, I'm sorry. Yeah, what if?
Well, okay. Hey, okay, we got a couple people on here. Let's go to my man Chris first. Chris, speak your piece, my brother.
What's up, brother?
Not too good to be around. Thanks for the invite, you guys. As you kind of mentioned, this weekend gonna be a busy one between college starting in full, and for one, I'm just in a weird state because as a Colorado resident since moving from Brazil about 21 so years ago, I can't believe this is the first time in I think a decade and a half that I'm actually excited for the school that I went to for like 2 years to actually play ball with CU.
University of Colorado, right?
Yeah, I went to the Denver branch of it that's in downtown Denver, but I spent some time, good amount of time in the campus over in Boulder a couple of times to do friends going there as well.
What years were you there?
Over between 2006 to 2008 on my side.
What's crazy, so you just missed him, but my man from high school, Daniel Jolly, was a running back over there 03 to 05.
Okay, and, yeah. So he was there during the time that I was doing it was my sophomore through freshman through junior year of high school because I graduated in 06. So yeah, just a little bit before my time.
I know you. So you watch UFC, right?
A good amount of time, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so he actually had a UFC fight a few years ago. Werewolf of Texas, Daniel Jolly. He was like when he was growing up, he was like the coldest karate dude. He kicked the dude over a bush one time. It was crazy, man. But he was out there. But yeah, man, I'm excited to watch them, man. Of course, me and Fam can probably both say it, because he's a fan of that nasty ass team. But Dion was the man back in the gap, man. Dion is the only player of distinction who could say, if I go to your team, you're going to the Super Bowl. Like, left Atlanta, went to the 49ers, cooked, left the 49ers, went to that other team, cooked. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
America's team.
Things have happened.
Yeah, but I'm excited, man. I think I'm excited to see his son play against D1 talent.
Yeah, I'm very intrigued at how he's going to do at this particular level. Obviously, you've seen a couple things that he did over at Jackson State as well. And while I do think, unlike a lot of people, I do think that this is like a pit stop for him. It's not his permanent home by any stretch. I do think that 2-3 years from now, an SEC school is going to come calling, and they're going to back up the money truck, and just gonna be like, it was fun while it lasted, but I got to go, and I don't blame him. But he is
money.
Relevant in the meantime.
Dion rationalizing the Ole Miss mascot. I need that for sure.
You don't think he's trying to revive? Put the paddles to Florida State.
And I think that's the thing with Colorado with the program. I think in 2 to 3 years, he at the very least gets the program back to some standing on where they were before. Obviously, the Big 12, the move back to the Big 12 again after leaving it in the first place, I think should put him in a decent place for getting prospects that are within the zone and not having to compete with the USCs, Oregons of the world for pipelines and what have you. But I do think it's a 2 to 3 year stop. I don't think it's like a full-time, long-term commitment, but he's going to make it entertaining while it lasts, which should play a very interesting hand on things that are going to happen.
If global warming continues to get worse, Colorado will be an attractive spot.
It already is. Personally, you all stay the fuck away. The rents hikes are already bad enough here it is. Like, it's going to get to California levels at this rate within the next 5 years. That's how bad it's like.
For sure. All right, Chris, before we move on, anything else you want to get off your chest, my brother?
No, nothing in particular. I think we've talked way too much wrestling as it is, and it's a Monday in any facet and form. So I'm trying to take a break from that. So
let me ask you something before I let you out of here. What's the best fight you ever seen at work?
Honestly, I don't think I've actually witnessed a fight at work itself. Outside of work, I think I do remember something in my freshman year of college when I was still working in a movie theater and saw like 2 people square off outside of the theater. I kind of just kept them moving though, just because I didn't want to be that person that's staring at somebody who looks at you and goes, "The fuck you looking at?" kind of thing. But
I seen somebody wife pull up and choke him at work because they both had a matching bump on their lip. But all right, Chris. My brother, you have a great evening. Thank you for being our very first caller into the show. I hope that you are the first of many. All right.
Fair enough. Appreciate it, man. Take care. Have a good one, guys.
Stay safe, my brother. Later. Yo, fam, I know you've seen a crazy fight at work before.
So this chick from Baltimore and
those are my favorite stories. Start with this chick from Baltimore. Yeah. Keep going.
And it's a dude, man. None of the dudes like this dude. Now understood it because his shooting percentage was so high at the job, right? So he was
trying to hit ball.
Yeah, hey, listen, he was a Pokemon master. You know what I mean? And 2 of them in the same office. You know what I'm saying? One was from a hood, but she was quiet, cute, light-skinned joint. That was actually the chick from in the city. And then the county joint was from a hood that, I'm from. I don't need to shout it out, but you know what I mean? And they just seen each other in the office that day and was like, well, what's up? You know what I mean? And now buddy gone away. You know what I mean? None of the 3 are actually working there anymore. It's this wild thing, man.
It'd be like that. All right, let's keep rolling. Add my man Chris in here. Chris, what's good?
Not much, man. Just had some Little Caesars for dinner. Watching Bosch on Amazon Prime. And
you watching Bosch? Like, shout out to Marlo. Talk about Baltimore. Shout out to Marlo being Bosch's number 2 for sure.
Yeah, no. That's actually become one of my favorite shows. Yeah.
Yo, fam, how do you feel about The Wire? I don't know if we've had that conversation, but like down here, my peers, again, they'd be 30-something Texas high school football player. They did not fuck with Friday Night Lights, like the show. And I'm like, dog, this is about us and the things that we went through and what we experienced, and it did not touch them. And what I found is like a lot of people from Maryland did not like tune into The Wire.
So there's 2 things there. First, are you talking about Maryland? Are you talking about Baltimore
specifically?
Because that's 2 different things.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna be honest. The city always loved The Wire for the simple fact that there were true stories mixed in. The guys that were telling the story and setting the narrative came from Baltimore, so it was Old Bay on everything. You know what I'm saying? Sure. Like it felt semi. The only thing was there were quite a few New York dudes trying to emulate a Baltimore accent. Other than that, you know what I'm saying? Like niggas was putting the T in Baltimore, and it
wasn't Baltimore.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And niggas wasn't full, but for the most part, man, you're talking about a show that has an argument. You know what I'm saying? For that GOAT spot. So I mean, in my experience, it's always been, oh, well, I knew the real Avon Bodie, Bucksdale, and this and that, and XYZ LMNOP. So, I mean, it's always been, for the most part, love.
I got you. All right, Chris, don't let me cut you off, baby. Speak your mind. What you thinking about?
I don't know about you guys, but like with all the stuff that happened, like, you know, like the 48 hours before, you know, All In, you know, Terry Funk passing and Bray passing, and it just like I felt a bit sour watching. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
it was difficult. So it doesn't stop, you know? And listen, I'm not Seth Rollins. I would never compare myself to Seth Rollins. So I can't imagine what it takes for him to lose one of his greatest rivals and contemporaries and have to go out there on a Friday night and a Monday night and perform. I can't imagine that. I won't pretend that that's what I do. But like, just me. And I think I can talk about it from a micro space so you can understand the macro.
Yeah.
I talked to MJF 2 weeks ago on a Saturday, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We chop it up for 45 minutes. I know what I'm going to write about. I know what he's planning on doing. I know how to frame it. I take 4 or 5 days to write it. I send it off to Cal on a Friday. Me and Cal start to look at it on like a Tuesday or a Wednesday. So I'm like, you know, and selfishly, I'm like, yo, my rollout is finna be so dope for this show. I ain't wrote for the Ringer in 4 months. Everybody's waiting for it. Yeah. Terry Funk passes away. You know? And like, I have, and I don't want to be disrespectful in this space. So let me be very clear. When somebody I feel like has lived a full life passes away, how I talk about it is different than somebody my age passing away, right?
Yeah.
So it wasn't no disrespect. I was just like, yo, Terry Funk did X, Y, and Z, and he was great. Next day, Bray Wyatt passes away. And it's like, oh my God. Bray Wyatt is younger than me. You know what I'm saying? I watched Bray Wyatt's. I used to fuck with Husky Harris heavy. Like, yo, the tank with the Ferrari engine. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was cold.
So that's when I started watching wrestling again, like right as the Wyatt family was, you know, a dominant force. And
for sure. And yeah, it was like that totally like changed how I felt about what I was doing. Cause I'm like, yo, I want to slow down. Like, I was at the presser at the Royal Rumble when he finally got to speak his mind about where he's been and what he's going through. It's tough, man. So like for me to say it's tough, who does this as a gig and not a career, I can only imagine what the people around him are going through. And like, look, I want people to remember this. Like, me and Fam and a bunch of other people absolutely benefit off of Twitter existing. Twitter is also a very, very, very small portion of the community. Because look, I was at the Royal Rumble. The people in the press box did not fuck with that Code Black Mountain Dew match. Guess what? Immediately outside that box on the other side of the glass was a bunch of little kids wondering if Uncle Howdy was okay. We are a very small portion of this greater thing. So his peers and his audience loved him as a creative. And it was tough. It was tough for me to like be like, okay, how do I talk about this thing that I did that is still important to a bunch of people without being disrespectful to this thing that is affecting me and other people? It's a lot, man. It is a lot for sure.
Yeah. And like, I don't know. And then seeing the news about Punk and fucking, I was like,
listen. So,
seeing Wallace, man, he's Rasheed Wallace at this point. Like, he's Rasheed Wallace. Like, anytime he does anything now, first of all, who leaking out somebody back there with a pen and paper, like, or they didn't dial, you know what I mean, a whole number, they just gonna text what's going on backyard. So it's like Rasheed Wallace looking at a referee. Oh, you gonna get the text? They're sending out that Punk message. Punk just put his left boot on first. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, all right, y'all. So everything that they do back there is going to be interesting. Now, this thing with him and Jungle Jacks, I feel like Jack Perry has a problem with Buddy, and he can't beat him, but he don't care, which I like about him. I love it.
I'm with. I like. Listen.
Who is Scrappy Doo?
Pressing a nigga you can't beat up is incredible. I do appreciate that.
Yeah, and like, first of all, Rashid is my favorite Blazer.
That's real. Shout out to the Jailblazers, baby.
Yeah, but he was better.
Like Rashid, like his jersey was my first jersey as a kid.
That's real. Like, look, like Sammy Guevara, who I think has incredible talent, right? Mm-hmm. You do not want to be the nigga at the job that niggas feel like they can beat on. You don't want to be him at any job. If you the dude they feel like they can press, you got to beat somebody to fuck up.
Yeah.
You got to. But the thing with Punk is crazy. Like, it's clear that there's a contingent that doesn't like him. It's like any other job, right?
Yeah.
But like, yo, pressing that nigga on when he's on his way to his match is crazy. And we were watching it when he came out the tunnel. He had the smuggest look on his face, and we like acknowledged it. Now the fact that was a smug look because he just choked the nigga out. Yo, and again, like, I'm not the person who thinks less of a wrestler for getting beat the fuck up. I love Batista. I'm gonna watch every Batista movie and watch every Batista match. He got checked. It happens to people. Like, listen, you're not supposed to go undefeated in fights. You know what I'm saying?
No.
But yo, I just imagine Jungle Boy in the cut, like just sitting there, like,
oh nah.
Yeah, because
like, yeah, I got something for his ass. Like, y'all seen Goodfellas when Nick Spider was over there serving drinks, Joe Pesci was in there cracking jokes, and they said, yo, Spider, you gonna let him do that to you? You gonna let him talk to you like that? And Spider went out there and checked him, and Spider got you. He took Spider the fuck out. We didn't see him until 10 years later on The Sopranos. Yes. Oh, man. And that's the thing, like, it can just be fun. These people, they're going to go to work the next day. They're going to win a fight that somebody wrote the finish to, and they're going to keep going. Like, I don't think of CM Punk as a tough guy because I don't have to. He's good at doing things on TV. I ain't never thought of Jack Perry as no tough guy. Don't need to. He's going to be really fun to watch. Like, I don't need my wrestlers to be actual tough people. It's just funny when one gets checked.
Yeah, but
just like rappers.
My thing was too, like, I feel like there's so much entitlement from a certain type of from certain type of people.
No, certain type. Say it.
Don't say it, baby.
Speak on it.
Man, what you just ruined it.
No, there's a lot of white privilege in that company, and it's frustrating as all fuck.
It's America, baby.
Funny? So we had people over at the crib yesterday, right? Uh-oh. And when Jungle Boy came out, somebody, pointed out, like, to the women who were there, who don't watch wrestling all the time, yo, that's Luke Perry's son. You know what I'm saying? Like, just that. I never really thought about how that might produce entitlement in a person, but it might absolutely produce entitlement in a person.
So if you think if Punk was choking him out and he was calling him 9021 ho, because that's what I want to have happen, right? I want, like, not yell it, but you gotta like whisper in his ear, 9021 ho. Now, next time I'm gonna do this again. I'm gonna beat your ass again.
Yo, this how Buffy had your daddy back in the gap. Yo, oh my God. I think, Chris was funny. Like, I tried to say this on Twitter, and Twitter is not a place for nuance.
No, it's not.
Vince McMahon, hey man, he had a tight ship. It was mistakes and people was acting up, but for the most part, them dudes fell in line. That's not a compliment. It's just talking about what exists. Right?
Well, you got to remember, he started a company where kayfabe was still around yet.
Facts.
So there's already, no matter if niggas like each other or not, there's already everybody's locked arms for some common cause. Like, we're going to keep the law alive. You know what I'm saying? So that being the case, it's easier. And there's no social media back then. Yeah. It's way easier to build a culture that says what happens back here have it back here. You know what I mean? When somebody want to do something to somebody, we gonna have to keep that back there. So there's, and this is a bunch of indie dudes that have come from a world of dog eat dog, and I don't like Buddy over there already. So if I can make a couple bucks from leaking a little info out and sullying somebody's name to get me a spot, hey man, every man for himself, baby.
Yeah, and I just feel like there needs to be someone who is an adult who says, "Hey, quit this shit. Stop the snitching."
Yeah, man. It's tough, man. Like you're not wrong, but niggas is gonna push. Like they're gonna see what they can get away with. Like Jungle Boy being the dude to press Punk is crazy to me. You could have pulled a million names out of a hat, and I would not say Jungle Boy was the one that was gonna press him.
Hey, all right, who would you guys like to see press Punk?
Shit.
See, because the thing is you don't only have to have like, so, you know, the physicality to push Punk around. You know what I mean? He's not the biggest dude, but he's not the smallest dude, especially over there. However, you got to have a little bit of stroke too, because if not,
you can't just do it. Yeah,
there's got to be some sort of investment for them to be like, all right, well, listen.
The people I want to see like pull his card are the people who are kind of like on his side. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I'd love to see Andrade talk crazy too, because I want to see him talk crazy to everybody. Because I feel like he a crazy dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, listen,
he beat a nigga up.
Latinos.
Once you get the right white woman in your life, you can do anything.
I have no idea.
I've heard.
Latinos, man, we're fine.
And so, yeah, you know, I feel like he would go into it like, I want somebody with security to pull up on him, like somebody who really like if I don't work here tomorrow, I'd be all right. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Chris Jericho.
Like, I don't want to see Eddie Kingston, because Eddie Kingston will kill him. Like, that's not him killing Punk. Eddie Kingston will go like that far with anybody. I don't want that. It's not Struggle Olympics. I would be sad in a different way if we lost Eddie Kingston, because I feel like his authenticity is just off the charts. We have so few genuine people in this world that when they don't exist, I think the world is worse. And so, like, I don't want to see Eddie Kingston get into it with nobody, baby. I want him to get money and be calm and live life.
Yeah. Hey, yo,
Moxley, I feel like
Eddie Kingston and Moxley, yo, they look like a 90s just culture group. Like, they still in the culture. You know what I'm saying? Moxley is the singer. He looks like the singer. He looks like most of the members of Color Me Bad. And then Kingston is gonna rap. Like, they just look like the culture vultures is what they name. Like, you know what I mean? Or just vulture.
Yo,
like to stylize it, that would be dope.
Somebody edit Kingston and Moxley into the background of the Crucial Conflict Hey video, please.
Hey, yo.
Just put them in there bouncing a little bit. My man Moxley on the block smoking like he gave him his blunt. That was so cool. I was like, yeah, I believe it.
Yeah, and like Mox is like the most neutral dude there from what it seems like.
All he want to do is put on crazy matches and go home.
Bleed, yo. You just put all them straws on my head.
Dog, when the straws split on his head, I lost it. I was like, yo, this is so damn fun. Yeah, man.
Yeah. And just one last thing during this press conference. I'm not going to call it a scrum because it's a fucking press conference.
It's not no fucking scrum. Thank you.
Yeah, but scrum's a more fun thing to say. I don't want
It does sound cool.
Yeah, you know what I mean? We're going to the scrum. We're going to get scrummed on. It's going to be great.
It was Tony's comment regarding how the women were like, when I remember the exact journalist who was asking Tony about the time the women.
It was Lyric, right? Shout out to Lyric.
Lyric,
yeah,
yes,
sure.
Thank you. and she was asking Tony, and he just gave a whole bunch of word salad. And it's just like, motherfucker, you such a fucking mark for fucking 90s and 2000s fucking male-dominated white privilege wrestling bullshit that you can't see what the fucking problem is.
Fam, have you talked to Tony Khan before?
No.
Okay.
Keep passing in the.
I was talking to my man Danny, who is my media connect. So anything I've written for AEW, Danny's been on the call or Danny set it up. I was asking about Sting, I was kind of vague about it. I was like, Danny, it's time. I need the big one. Pause. And he was like, you want to talk to Tony? I was like, fuck no, I don't want to talk to Tony. And it's not no disrespect.
No, I definitely want to talk to Tony.
No, well, my thing is this: for what I do, I don't feel like I'm going to get any information out of a billionaire that's new. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not. Even if you struggle creatively, or if your kids didn't like you in school, I don't really care. You got $1 billion. Your problems are different, right? And so I just don't feel like you're going to get anything new from me talking to him, right? But like, I say that to say this. I don't know Tony Khan, so I have no idea how he feels about anything in the world. But if I'm to believe that Tony Khan is message board wrestling guy from way back and torch board and observer board, and he was always that guy, those guys are not the biggest proponents of women's wrestling. Like, so to me, it seems like it would be easy to put on more than one women's match during a show. It seems really, really easy.
Yeah.
Like I don't see what the hard part is. And the fact that somebody like Lyric is getting criticized on the internet for asking the most basic question that we've all been asking. And we know it's deeper than her just asking. We know that part.
It's who's asking. We know. Come on now.
We know that. And again,
this isn't easy. He gave and this is the thing. He gave a very he thought was a very mundane cookie cutter answer. He said, you guys didn't like the show? The show the way it was good, right? So like, why would I change it? Is what I heard with the answer. And that doesn't sound super like anti-women. He just was like, look, man, I gave y'all what I gave y'all. I think it's worse. I think because he didn't like really go into an answer, which is you're not going to get that answer. I don't know if he should all the way be at these scrums like that. But like someone there who can give a fleshed out answer, they might benefit from that, because what happens is the sister ends up falling on some of the grenade because you don't fully answer it, and these guys want to cling to their their side of their piece of real estate and make sure that they hold up their real estate, because that's basically what all this is.
Listen, I said the same thing when the Swole thing happened. It's not about you being right or wrong. It's about you being billionaire in charge and the person on, not even the other side, but the person whose idea might not totally intersect with yours is a black woman. You got to be careful. And it's another reason why I don't have the desire to talk to billionaire in charge. They lack empathy, and it's not a fault of theirs. They just, being empathetic is not something they've had to be, you know? So it makes it tough, man. Like, and again, salute to Lyric. I don't know Lyric. I ain't talked to Lyric, but I understand her struggle. And I also understand her struggle is tougher than mine. You know what I'm saying? No. Like, making a way in this as a black man is hard enough. So as a black woman, I can only assume how tough that is, you know? And, you know, I had the PW Torch cosign. I have now the Ringer cosign. So things are easier for me. But I can imagine trying to jump into this game in 22, 23 and having the balls. I don't know what the woman equivalency is. Having the balls to get in there and ask that takes a tough woman. So salute to you. And I shouted her out today, man. Like, again, falling those grenades is tough. Keep pushing, keep kicking, because you're doing good work. So salute to you. Absolutely.
And like, just to end it, like, how would Tony react if a man asked that question compared to a woman? Just a thought that's been rumbling in my head for months now.
I like, listen, that I would love to talk to him, but I don't know what I would say. Like, I genuinely mean that.
I think the best times might be to talk to him is when there's a hot button, so you can just ask the question and get up out of there. That way, you can either get his cookie cutter response, or he's gonna wild out and be like, And either way, it's entertaining looking.
He would do a crazy amount of goodwill on the internet, and again, his business is bigger than the internet. I'm not saying that, but yo, if Tony sat down with 4 or 5 or 6 of women in wrestling media and they just chopped it up, put it on camera, record it, cut it, edit it however you want, but they just really kicked it, I think he would do himself some goodwill. But again,
I don't think so. I'll tell you why.
Okay.
It's because it's still all about people holding up their part of the real estate, right?
Yeah.
And so what the people that are already co-signing Tony are going to be like, see, he's fine. And the people that already are ready to hate Tony are like, this nigga's pandering. Yeah, you see what he's doing. So I don't know if the loud minorities that are controlling these narratives are going to be receptive to anything that really makes sense. I don't know. Man. I haven't seen many people who have been like, all right, you know what? This is okay.
Let me tell you why I agree. And I haven't told this story yet. All right. So when me and Max chopped it up a few weeks ago, we absolutely talked about the day on Twitter when Max compared the Holocaust and the fallout to the transatlantic slave trade.
Yeah, when he was on here wilding.
We talked about that, right?
Okay.
And him and I, we talked about it when it happened. And I explained to him in the moment why you can't do this. And it was even a thing where, like, I told him straight, I see what you're trying to do. You need to understand that the words that you're applying to this are not helping your point, right?
And he did my fault OG.
And that's a strong-willed dude. I understood where he was coming from, but we revisited it when I interviewed him for the article, right?
Okay.
And of course, I have the permission to put that out because we wrote about it and I cleared it through AEW. But really, what his point was that there's policy in place that was supposed to offset the treatment of Black people. That policy is not in place in America. I said, dude, I get it. I hear what you're saying. And he was even like, look, I'm not even saying that the policy has worked because we got a bunch of racist assholes in politics who should not be there because they're not doing Black people right. That's all there. But guess what, fam? If I put exactly what he said in that article, the same people who's been trying to dog him ever since he said it would feel the exact same way. So you right. Like, look, people decide how they feel about you early on. Yes. You can't clean it up for everybody. You know what I'm saying? And what's crazy, shout out to Cal, because I wrote out exactly what I wanted to say. Cal pulled it. And he was like, Cam, I do not think that this is going to be productive in the way that you think it is. And that's why he's a good editor. Salute, 100%. But you're right. Listen, man, like, people don't want to have conversations. They want to have stances. So, yeah, 100%.
Yeah, there's no conversations. There's no opinions. There's takes.
It's fucking loading up the Glock and fucking riding on somebody.
Shout out to Cash.
I was gonna say Arn to be safe, but you went hard. I like it.
Yo, I told him, like, I've been telling him, fam, I'm not the one to talk about people pulling guns. I can't be I'm from Texas, baby. Listen, I've been.
It's a different. Chris, you been to Texas?
No, I'm a
Hey, yo,
Oregon.
them niggas crazy, yo.
It's
Them niggas
dog.
straight crazy. I went there to visit my family. I won't say who it is, but it's close vicinity family to the point where we probably go every year to around the Houston area. You know what I'm saying?
All
Shout out to
righty.
Sugarland. Anyway, shout out to Clear Lake.
So
Yeah.
I meets we out in Katy. I meet up my homeboy, right? Who
Shout out to Katy Mills Mall.
used to work with or whatever. He pulls up. And the witch come right there. I said, where we going? I don't want to. We don't do that. I mean, if you got the witch come, it's back there, whatever. It's not right there next to the goddamn Hennessy. Sorry. You know what I mean? It's
Listen, man.
away. It's different. Y'all Texas, boy, y'all different.
I was out one night on 6th Street. Shout out to 6th Street. Austin, Texas. Most famous spot. I don't know what we was into it about. I got into it with a bunch of Asian dudes walking back to the car. They was all in the car and they pulled out the strap on me.
Whoa.
And guess what? I kept talking about shit. What was I thinking? My 20s were crazy. But you know what I didn't
no
do?
gun?
Yeah. You know what I didn't do? I didn't call the police.
Yeah, no, that ain't what you do.
I mean, look, I understand the outrage on the internet because we all live different lives. I didn't. Why did he go? Why did he go away? I understand the outrage on the internet. I understand we didn't all come up the same. I didn't have guns pulled on me. I didn't call nobody. I don't know. I can't call it. Sorry. Yeah. No. Not how I give it up. Oh. Exactly. Texas is different, man. You listen, man. When I shout out to Peanut, rest in peace. I miss you every day. When we got a house together, me, him, and his homeboy, we had a house full of guns. And so I tell that story all the time of the girl who DM'd me and was like, hey, I want to come over so we can watch basketball. And everybody was like, damn, she could have robbed you. I was like, she wasn't going to rob me. Not with all these motherfucking weapons. She could have robbed somebody. She was not going to rob Cam because them shit stayed loaded. So, yeah.
Nah, all that gun talk, I heard something. My bad.
I'm just, yeah, man. I'm not the one. Like, listen, I think if the story is how they told it, I imagine that's very scary. Somebody weaving through traffic and then waving the thing at you. I get it. I understand that it might be traumatic. I wouldn't have called them people, but yeah, again, I grew up different. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, you don't know that. You don't know that outcome, man. You don't know
it's
that
scary.
outcome.
It's scary because hey, bullets hurt apparently. But it's just I don't know. Gun culture is really different down here, and so it's hard to get up in arms when I see arms all the goddamn time. Yeah. All right, Chris. Anything else before we get you out of here?
Nah, man, I'm about to hit the showers. I got work in the morning.
All right, my brother. Thank you so much.
Peace.
Yeah, man. I was surprised they won.
No, that's when they always when it's a legal problem and they're like, oh, we don't about to get suspended. Oh no, they're gonna win. That's usually the case. You know what I mean? Shout out to the Usos. You know what I mean? Like there's usually if there's an issue and it's out there, they're gonna win, and then the reprimand gonna come after.
On the back end. Yeah.
Pause.
I don't know, man. Okay, so let me ask you this. It was April. So we were all together that weekend. So I assume you heard at the same time I did that they were giving Punk a show. Because that was the talk all around LA that weekend. Yo, Tony's doing a second show on Saturday and it's going to be CM Punk's show. And it was like, okay. And everybody was like, yo, this can't work. Like, why would he do that? That's crazy. To me, it's worked. Like, smaller cast, more focused. You got Punk, you got Bullet Club, you got FTR, you got Rick. and they really build the show around them. And to me, it works. And it works on a different level than me for Dynamite, because Dynamite has 92 niggas who they got to try to work in there. You know what I'm saying? So I like Collision a lot.
Collision is more palatable because it's familiar. It is their WWE-esque show. And I ain't saying like they biting WWE and nothing, but the things that they do that are counterculture or to be different, they do on Wednesdays. You know what I'm saying? On Fridays, you getting sports entertainment show, son. You know what I mean? It's production value and it's story and it's big names. And it's easier to be a fan of both shows when what you're getting on Saturday is what you get, because that stuff is the stuff we've watched for double-digit years. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I mean, but when we were first hearing it, no, I felt like nobody believed it. I ain't believe it. Like, nah.
That shit sound crazy. Why would you do that? Yeah. Well, I say it to say this. They gave Punk his own show. He's the focal point. The talents that he likes are given a lot of focus. He has his own world title.
Mm-hmm.
He's competing against the Ricks and the Bullet Clubs and the Samoa Joes, like the people he really fucks with. For all that to happen, and then allegedly for him on Sunday to be like, I don't even want to work here. This is that bullshit I've been telling y'all about. What do you feel about that? Like, they gave him everything.
He said that?
That's what they say he said. I ain't saying he said it. That's what they say he said.
I don't know if I buy it.
If I'm damn near 40. What is Punk? 42, 43?
Probably something about around there.
If a young nigga is pulling up on me every other week, testing my gangster, I might be upset. You check these niggas, man. And especially if I can whoop their ass, that would make me even more mad.
I think the thing that will piss me off more, and what really bothers me the most as me, is that the stuff is getting out. Look, we have been, you on the wrestling shows and wrestling companies is a block. What happened on the block is the block business, unless something outrageous happens that needs to go outside.
Yeah.
But for the most part, the block handles itself, and anybody external that comes in, for the most part, is going to cause more problem than help, right? So all these extra stories that's getting out and all this and that, it does a few things. I mean, of course, it stirs up the locker room. It confirms the people that don't like them. You know what I'm saying? It makes the people that do like them a bit uncomfortable. And on the outside, those people that are fighting for their real estate, the ones on their one block, it's two sects of AEW niggas. Is the pro punk niggas and the anti-punk niggas. And they're like, oh, he's ruining it for us, blah, blah, blah. And the other guy's like, well, I like Punk. I still think that show is good, which the truth is, that's their best show.
Yeah.
Right? And then, the WWE real estate niggas is like, see, he's terrible. He couldn't live here because this is paradise.
Listen, real quick. You talk to a lot of the same non-AEW and WWE talent that I do.
Correct.
I've had people tell me explicitly they would not work for AEW because it's too messy.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've had people say that to me. And like, again, I got people who I love at AEW who are like, yo, I rock with this. But there are people who absolutely are like, I would not leave my situation to go over there because I do not trust what it would be. And like, that's just not a reputation you want. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't want to be the company people don't want to go to because they feel like there's a lack of organization.
That company is what it is. It is. I haven't talked to anyone from a calm, smooth running indie. There is some sort of commotion, and that AEW is a very big independent company. You know what I'm saying? They just an independent company with a bag. Now, that bag will help some things go a lot smoother than at like a small level promotion or whatever, a local indie. But at the same time, that is your lifeblood. Your lifeblood was the independence and those people, and not necessarily having a booking committee and having this and having that every week. And so sometimes people is kind of just floating and doing their own thing. And it becomes what AEW has become.
Yeah.
I mean, I love going to independent wrestling shows. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to MCW. Shout out to, you know what I'm saying? Like, shout out to all the local joints, man. Shout out to Fight Club and all them folks that, you know what I mean, I get to go and check out. But there's always something. Someone's upset and someone's this and someone's that. And that's what it is over there. But to be honest, I think that is the truth with every wrestling company. I think just sometimes
it doesn't make them unique. Yeah, for sure. I would like to see. I would like to see people like Max talks about it. You know what I'm saying? Like when All In first happened, WWE offered the bag, AEW offered the bag. He bet on himself. I think he put himself in the best position. Mm-hmm. I would love to see people genuinely weigh both sides because it's going to give us better content. You know what I'm saying? Like it's going to give us better television to watch. Like I want that to be a legitimate choice between the two of them. For sure.
Yeah, I think how it's gonna work is you hit on one of, for some folks, it's gonna be some dope folks that wherever you put them, they're gonna flourish. And some folks need to be in the system to be able to score. Some guys can manufacture their own game, and I think that's what we're going to see moving forward. Is you're going to see a lot of guys who can make the game come to them and they can do anything, so they can go anywhere. And then you got some guys that might need to lean upon maybe developing in the NXT and moving on to the main roster and that kind of being their deal. Or some people just needed to be real loosey-goosey and kind of be able to go out there and do whatever it is they want, period. And they go, you know what I mean?
For sure.
Down Florida and get busy over there.
I got a question for the chat, and fam, this is for you too. Who was the first person to contact me and ask if Trisha Dora was really the goods?
I mean, for it to be kind of a thing, it's got to be somebody white. I feel like for it to be a thing.
Think about Trisha Dora, what she represents, and we love Trisha Dora. She's the only person. We was at Wale Mania. I saw her and I was starstruck. And I was like, yo, like, it's really you, and you're so cold. Not to bad luck. It was Maxwell Jacob Friedman.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, man. And this is not Max Apology Hour. Again, that conversation is deeper than social media, but I feel like we got to learn to let people be deeper than just what we see. We should have conversations. Real quick, let's see. Let me bring my brother on here. The light-skinned artist himself. He looks like a hat. Shout out to my man True God. My brother was good.
My nigga. First of all, I'm dark skinned, you know what I'm saying? In the streets, they call me Wesley Snipes. So I need you to recognize that, you know what I'm saying? I see your face over there, brother. Just act like you ain't heard nothing, my nigga. We're going to keep on rocking with that. We just going to keep on talking. Man, we just going to keep on talking.
I didn't know it was two Wesley Snipes.
Here you go.
Y'all niggas, man. But nah, man.
Before you go, if you're in the chat or you're watching on stream, my brother True God did both Lee Moriarty's latest theme and Commander's theme for AEW. So salute to the bro.
Yes, sir. Shout out to Commander too, man. Commander been killing it. He's been on TV like every week. So we actually got something. I was actually showing Cam a little bit snippet of it. We got something coming up. We got a cipher coming up. with myself, like 15 MCs. You know what I'm saying?
Crazy.
It's crazy. It's crazy. I think it might be like one of the first like official like ciphers in wrestling, like the official cipher from AEW. I guess I can reveal it. You know what I'm saying? Because it's coming out around next couple like next month or so. Is the Who We Are 2. It's coming out. I heard y'all mention Trish Adora just a couple minutes ago. I actually am on the track for Trish Adora on that project. So you know what I'm saying? So that's you know, a lot of things in the pipeline, a lot of things working. I just want to tap in just because, you know what I'm saying, I always come on show support for it's my dog, it's my brother for real. So you know what I'm saying, just came on show support. I had a lot of things to say about what y'all talking about with the Punk shit. You know what I'm saying? I never bite my tongue when it comes to that. I just say, as someone who has heard both sides of this thing, you know, like working with the company, you end up hearing shit that you don't necessarily care about, but you hear it. And I feel like all these niggas is corny, man. All that shit is corny. Like it's shit corny, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? And Cam, you know, I've been working in and out of wrestling for the last like 13 years.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And when I first got into wrestling, I remember sitting in North Carolina at an event, and I was sitting there talking to the people I was working with, and I was like, "Is this how this shit really is, bro? Like, is this how it really is?" And they like, "What you mean?" I'm like, "This shit corny, bro." Like, you know what I'm saying? I was fresh off the block, like literally going into wrestling. I'm calling the block for the wrestling.
Real problems.
Like real problems, and like people complaining about, "Oh, my match was supposed to be 25 minutes, and they cut it to 20," and I'm like, nigga, so what? you can't fit what you need to fit in 20 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't understand. And I will say this. I think there's a lot of talk about people saying Punk is gonna leave, Punk should go to stuff like that. I don't think Punk should leave. Like everybody knows I'm a Punk fan and stuff like that. I like watching what he does. I love watching what Elite does. I enjoyed some of Jack Perry stuff too. I don't think anybody should leave.
Yeah.
What I've said to people who are involved in all of this, be adults and go sit the fuck down and talk to each other. Dog. Like, we're adults. We men. You're men.
They could finish the fight. They could just let them finish the fight.
You know what? You know what? You're right. Like I said this before. I said,
or go into one of them little closets, pause in or little rooms or something. Man, they come out. You know what I'm saying? And then like, all right, let's go to work. Like that's it.
And my thing is, I said this too. Like, yo, like, if you have, you know, the executive vice presidents of your company who are also big stars, you have arguably the biggest draw in your company. They're on two separate shows. They are kept apart from each other. They in the same arena, but one kept on one side and the other kept on, like, it's just bad business. Because next time you have All In, say 2024 in London, y'all should want the Bucks, Omega, Punk, all of them to be there to do press conferences, promote that shit. Yeah. Like, it's fucking up the business because you thinking, oh, I can't make, like, I saw Tony say, like, oh, I can't make everybody get along. Nigga, nobody's saying you gotta make everybody get along. Just make sure they get to the money. The money is the object. That's the motive. If you're not putting Punk and the Bucks in the same room, you're the boss. And I know this for a fact. If Tony said to Punk, brother, you come sit in this room with me, Punk is gonna do that. Punk has already said publicly he has no problem with sitting down with him, talking with him. I know for a fact the other side don't necessarily feel that way about it, and I don't understand it. I've told everybody I've talked to, I said, I don't understand that. I said, if this brother is saying he apologizes and he's willing to work with you, like, even if y'all don't work together on TV, it's just, let's work together to make this product that we pushing even stronger in the future.
Let's pull it back for a second, because I want people to, like, not everybody's in entertainment, but I feel like this will make sense. So a long time ago, 20 years ago, I used to rap.
It's still funny. This is still funny.
But listen, though, so because you have done it at a higher level than me, but you still do it, think about when you were doing it 10, 15, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
3 people in the city had studios. And you would, a lot of times, either on your way in or on your way out, you're in the studio with dudes you do not get along with because ain't but so many studios.
Nigga, I had rode in an Uber once. I tweeted about it with a nigga I had beef with like years ago. I thought the nigga was dead, low key.
Your money was on the line, and so guess what? However you felt, you had
let
to
it go.
put that aside because you got something you got to take care of. You know what I'm saying?
It's business. It's all about
exactly. And so it's like, yo, I you making more money than you ever made. Like, this is not a step back for, and not that Punk has, I don't know his deal, but the Bucks and Omega, they're making more money than they've ever made before. And it's like, yo, you gonna let that slow down because a nigga you don't like is right there? Like, come on.
And I think it's crazy because they just signed an extension too, right? They just signed like extension, so they're there for like another 4 years. And I feel like, you know, Punk just came back, so I feel like when Punk came back, I would have just sat them all down like, hey, look, this is what we're gonna do, guys. You know, you guys don't have to be friends. Y'all don't got to get along. You know, so if you guys don't want to work in a match with each other, you don't have to. Although you could be kind of missing a little money there too. I think that's you know, even if you just did the FTR and Punk versus the Elite, if you do that one time, that's one time. You don't have to ever do it again. But you got that money. You got a sold out house for that. And I feel like they just missed the opportunity to do it. And it doesn't look like it's going to happen. Obviously now, I mean, obviously things could change, you know what I'm saying? Niggas, somebody could really be like, all right, now we really got to sit down and do this. But it shouldn't get to this point before people actually become adults and sit down and make stuff work. And it's business. Because at the end of the day, you go to work every day. You don't like the people you work with. You don't. Like, niggas are talking about, oh, Punk said he hates his job. Nigga, I said it every day I go to work. I like, you sit in the car before you go in. Yeah, like, I need this money. Like, I need this money. Like, but I hate this shit. You might, you know what I'm saying?
Lights come on. It's cool.
People turn their brains off with wrestling, and I don't know why. It's a job. Like,
it's a business.
But it's also, I think that's the major. I think this is the major key, and you just said it. Is people turn their brains off, and it's selectively turning their brains off. They only want it to be rational when it serves them, right? So, you know what I want to do when I watch wrestling? Watch wrestling. I hate that I know about EVPs and what position niggas hold and booking committees and what time people come back time. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to know all that stuff. I want to watch two big niggas beat each other over the head for 35 minutes. I want to clap and I want to root for the good guy and boo the bad guy, have a good time, and get up out of there. I don't want to politic with you niggas online about, well, his gear, you know, the guy that made his gear was actually Mongolian. So I don't care. I just want to watch
real quick. I wanted to bring on my favorite white person with black kids, Josh Mustachio.
That's a hell of an intro.
That's my guy. That's my guy.
A hell of an intro.
All his little ones, they started school last week, right, Josh?
Yes.
Josh is my favorite graduate from Bishop Sycamore. It's my guy.
Not BS High.
Josh, what's on your mind, baby?
Oh, nothing much. Just getting ready for the weekend. You know, college football is going to fully be back, and then Legion's pumped up about Saturday night and Payback. So
shout out to
it's
Josh.
going to be a long day Saturday.
My man Josh named his twin boys Legion and Legend. They better run businesses and win Heismans. I love it. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. And his youngest boy he named Lexington after the gargoyle. It's beautiful. Josh, tell me how you feel about your hero, CM Punk, fighting a child backstage at a wrestling show.
I mean, I thought he was Christian for a second, taking on someone who's dead.
I'm sorry about how funny that was. Christian, if Christian finds out your daddy died, like he's on your ass in a turtleneck with no sleeves. Oh my God.
Yeah. I just think I don't know. He's just on something else. You know, when the problem is the same thing and there's three different problems and there's one common person kind of look at the problem. I don't know.
You don't want to be the nigga to beat on at your job. Like, shout out to Josh. I know Josh works and has worked in a warehouse, that's what goes to my mind immediately. Because my little brother, who loves manual, my little brother drives a truck through Maryland, through District Heights now, because he's that person who wants to not talk to anybody at work and listen to Washington sports radio all day. That's what he loves. That's him.
ESPN
like,
980.
Yeah, that's who he is. But like, my little brother got fired from a warehouse job because an old white dude kept picking and prodding at him, and he finally punched him in his shit. So like, shout out to Malone, baby. Yeah, you know, the biracial boy is different. But yeah, you don't want to be the nigga at your job that like people feel like they can press. And so like, Josh, you doing what you've done for so long, like working in a physically demanding job. Is there a story you remember of somebody who at the job just snapped because they kept getting poked and prodded?
I mean, it's happened quite a few times here at the classic of Coca-Cola.
Nature of the business.
Yeah, they, they're just, especially in the summer. I mean, it could be over 105 degrees in this warehouse, and
no bitches. So yeah.
never.
Even if it was one, if she out there pulling pallets, boy, she ain't gonna help the situation no good. She out there with the manual jacket.
If she's pulling pallets, you run the other way.
I'm sorry. That was funnier than it should be. But yeah, like when you look at all this, Josh, and specifically, you know, some of the years you and I talked the most was at the height of like Cena and Punk, like really being in that position. Looking at it all these years later and seeing that he's having trouble relating to coworkers. I'm not saying it's his fault. This would exist. What do you think about the situation in general? Like, is it everybody needs to toughen up? Is it Punk needs to soften up? Like, how do you see it just having experienced him as long as you have?
I wish he would, I heard you guys talking about how he would sit down with other people and all that. I wish they could just resolve it. I mean, the shit wouldn't happen in WWE. I don't care who's running it. It just, I always think back of the story about Jacques Rougeau taking that bag of pennies and hitting Dynamite Kid in it and knocking his teeth out. And then next night they're wrestling each other because Hulk and Vince and all them sat them down and said, "This is
fucking shit." Yeah.
I mean, if you don't want to wrestle tomorrow night, you can go to the C show led by Junkyard Dog, or you can stay on the A show with Hogan and make more money. So, I mean, at the end of the day, it's all about money. And I agree with you guys. They're leaving money on the table. I don't care if they had 90,000 people there Sunday. They can't get 90 people to show up at the Yum Center or wherever they were where Steve was last weekend. And it's just, they have a lot of talent that I think they can mingle together. And it's just, I don't mind the show Saturdays. I mean, that's the one I get to see the most because I'm off. And I think that it's nice, but I think if they work together, they can make both shows better, take the best of both shows and put them together instead of having just basically separate shows that people say, well, this is what I like and this is what I want. You look at WWE and SmackDown and Raw, they're not too far apart, but they have their different characters that people like. And it's sad to me. I think they left a lot of money on the table.
Real quick, the Yum Center sounds like a rub down spot, but keep going. I'm sorry. My apologies.
It's definitely a Kentucky thing.
Wow. Outside of Samoa Joe, who does AEW have that's like old school and respected? And that's really not what they built, right?
Like, Arn Anderson?
Yeah, but I think Arn's a little too long in the tooth. You know what I'm saying? Like Jericho. Like they had Hawk, who was still a guy. You know what I'm saying? Wrestling has kind of phased out that guy. Like, because WWE doesn't have that guy either. You know You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't got
Yeah.
the guy who's late 30s, early 40s, built like a truck, who they gonna listen to.
Well, you got to remember, you got to look at and start with the top. Is it like Vince ain't a fan? He's the OG promoter. Like, you know what I'm saying? There were people before him, but nobody did what he did promoting wise. And he's very self-made as far as not only just the actual business of the WWE, but also self-made in the type of wrestling company that he made. Like I keep going back, man. He grew up with the niggas that was Junkyard Dog was lighting the stem in the locker room, baby. Like, this is the wild, wild goddamn West. Now, you know what I mean? You can't even.
You sound like Undertaker right now. They in the locker room playing video games.
Nah, but not even that. But you know what I mean?
You right though.
You go from a nigga smoking whatever in the locker room to if a nigga got a pack of Newports back there, someone like, oh my God. You know those are bad for you, right? Like, you know what I mean? So yes, there is there's a tinge of like old school dog, but I think you need some of that, man. Everything can't be new age. Everybody get a participation trophy. Some of this stuff has to be like, yo, you are here and you are here. You down there, shut up. You haven't earned the right to talk to that guy up there.
I got a question.
Okay.
And oh gosh. Y'all think about this when I ask it.
No, I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna answer fast.
All right. Mid 2000 SmackDown was probably one of the best wrestling eras from a production and an in-ring standpoint, right?
Sure.
Wait, first of all, I know a niggas in Maryland because I hear them crickets.
Well, that's the
That's outside the warehouse.
That's outside the door right there. I'm in the on my left there.
So listen, as bad as it was, as misogynistic and fucking toxic as it was the Wrestlers Court a good idea for the sake of the locker room and the product?
Yes. It not only does
it create,
not only does it create like a proper hierarchy, but you're checked by your peers and it's okay. At this point, what it feels like is if two guys have a problem, they can never solve it between each other. They need someone to solve it. And that's why we're having this issue. It's because these guys aren't.
Not to cut off your point, but ain't no way we should have known about Jack Perry and CM Punk getting into it. Shout out to Sean Ross Sapp. That's my man. We shouldn't have known about that 5 minutes after it happened on the internet. That's crazy.
That's the question too, right? That's the question I had.
Crazy.
I told you, it's a nigga back there then dialed 9-1 and waited for CM Punk to do something, dial that extra one. You know what I'm saying?
It was like this. It was like that, though. That's crazy. Why do you have news on that as soon as it happened? Like, and again, ain't the newsman's fault.
No.
But uh-oh. I feel like I'm gonna get a DM.
I like it.
Look, I'm just gonna say, like, who would be that close? You know what I'm saying? It's only a few people who be that close to know. And I just feel like if you're that close, you know what I'm saying?
You keep going.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I just think that's the problem, is that it's so easy and like I was saying, I've talked to people on both sides of this situation. I'm an independent contractor for doing stuff for AEW. I'm not a side employee. I shouldn't know none of this shit, but I do. You know what I'm saying? I have wrestlers, and I know I have people I'm cool with who be like, wrestlers be in the DMs telling me this, complaining, and I'm like, man, tell them niggas shut up, like shut the fuck up, go talk to your boss, go talk to people you work with, stop telling people on Twitter, stop telling people on your Instagram, like it's just and that goes for everybody involved, whether it's somebody in Jack Perry's crew, so whether it's in the Elite crew, and whether it's Punk's crew, whatever. It's like, stop telling everybody your fucking business.
Yeah.
Like, because you're in a business. You're in a business. So if you have an issue with, and my thing is, if you got an issue with somebody and it's that bad, address it with them. You know what I'm saying? Like, we all come from, you know what I'm saying, obviously different backgrounds than most people that in wrestling. We live everyday life. You know what I'm saying? Like, I always say my life real, so I can't do this wrestling shit like that. Because if I got a problem with somebody, I'm gonna tell you straight up what the fuck it is. You going to tell the person that you in the locker room with that's next to you, and then the nigga is in the next locker room where you could just go talk to him and holler at him right there. That's cornball shit. It's corny shit. Like just be like, we men. We're grown men. Just go sit and be like, yo, bro, let me holler at you real quick. It takes nothing but 5 minutes.
Is it funny that, does anybody know if Terry Taylor has a son and he's backstage? I mean,
Please chill out.
They call him the Blue Rooster.
yeah.
They call him the new rooster.
Blue Rooster. That's
Blue
Blue
Rooster.
Hey, listen, man, I had a problem with me and the folks, you know what I mean, I be around, had an issue with, there've been a couple folks, and I happened to run into one of them. I am not a tall dude, you know what I'm saying? I ain't no big tall, you know what I mean? I walk up to said wrestler, who is a tall dude, known for being a pretty good big guy. And I was like, yo, what's your problem with us? Like, you know what I'm saying? Face to face. And ain't on no tough guy stuff. I'm not going to walk around here where I'm supposed to be having fun looking across the room like, oh, look at him over there.
Nigga ran up on Big Show. He don't want nobody. You ran up on Big Show. Niggas ran up on Big Show. That's all right.
Nigga told Moose what time it was.
I ain't say nobody name now.
Oh man.
But it seems like it should just be that. Like, all this could be so smooth. Like, I loved when niggas was mad about whatever, and then Rick tweeted out, "Man, I can't wait to get back to the city and get some elote." Like, it should be that. Like, live your life. Like, this should not be that serious, dog.
These niggas is all getting paid very well to go do something that they love once a week for most of them, because you're not working both shows.
Yeah.
Like, you know how many niggas in this world will want to get paid 6 figures to go work one day doing something you love, take your ass home, and that's it. Maybe work a Saturday or Sunday every 2 months. Like, it's like I said, man. I just think it's frivolous, man. It's just all frivolous shit. And at the end of the day, wrestling does not need to be this. Like, like, we all exist in this space as, people in media or doing the music or whatever, that we are writers and everything, whatever we do. And we can look at it from the outside looking in and be like, man, just all they need to do is do this. The people in it, though, and I guess it's the same thing in real life, so you got friends that got their relationship might be fucked up. You see it and you be like, yo, I'm trying to give them advice, but they don't see it because self-awareness is lacking for a lot of people, especially in wrestling. We're not gonna go there though. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's the problem. Is like, if you look at these issues and be like, yo, man, like, look, just sit down with these dudes, man, like, just talk it out, bro. Like, we all adults, man, go work that out. I've said this to people, and people are like, well, what are we gonna, like, what's the purpose of it? I'm like, the fuck you mean what's the purpose of it? Like, like, you fucking up the bread, man. Like, because it leaves a sour taste in a lot of fans' mouth, because it's like, now you know too much about wrestlers that you don't need to know about. These are entertainers. They're entertainers. I don't need to know what you got going, because I don't care. Like, whatever y'all got going on, that's between y'all. It's no different than if I'm at work and a coworker say they don't like coworker. I'm gonna listen, because I like listen to their drama for a couple seconds, and I'm like, oh, that sounds crazy. Y'all handle that. Y'all figure that out. I'm gonna go back to my desk and I'm gonna do what I do. Good. I see y'all at lunch if y'all want to go to lunch. You know what I'm saying? Somebody buying lunch, we could do that. Otherwise, I don't give a fuck what you got going on. And in wrestling, it's too much. It's a lot of click shit, which is a problem. And I think it's high school shit, and we don't need that, man. Like, all of us are adults. We're of age people. You know what I'm saying? I know Cam, you're a little older than all of us, but 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 not like we all adults, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, we need to just like they all need to just sit down and just talk. Like I said, even if you don't work together and wrestle matches together, just be like, all right, man, look, this what happened. My bad. I was tripping on that. My fault. Bet we good. Cool. Bet I see you in the hallway. I might give you a head nod. Might give you a dap or something. Might not do none of that.
Yeah, I
But we
don't even
good.
think it gotta be that. I don't even think they necessarily have to quote unquote resolve whatever issue. Hey, look, you got a problem, you got a problem. I'm the boss. I don't care about your problem. What you're not going to do is make your problem my problem. So we're going to work well and be successful. And y'all niggas are going to work together. Do y'all have to be buddies? Do y'all have to slap five in the hallway? No, but you're not going to jeopardize my TV. You're not going to jeopardize my workplace. That's it.
Can I ask y'all a question? Do I have to pretend like Fam didn't take off his hoodie and change it to a different Scully? Like, why was that just next to you?
I had noticed that, but I was just, you know,
Why did you just have a matching Scully for your T-shirt specifically next to you?
Yeah,
very nasty behavior.
Yeah.
There's a possibility I was too hot down here. You know what I mean?
But no,
Hey, Cam, I got one question for you before I got to get back to work. But I have one question for you. I didn't see the show, but I heard there was a sign in the crowd that said "Best in the world at being a bitch."
Yo,
did you see that?
I did not see it.
I heard Wade and Rich talk about it during their roundtable, and Wade said it. Rich is like, that was kind of spicy. He's like, well, I don't think he said it at like best in the world at being a bitch. And Wade and Todd and all them cracked up for like 2 minutes, and I couldn't believe they spent about like 4 minutes talking about it. And I had to find that sign.
I need to find that. That's great. Oh God. See again, we know too much. We know too much. A fan should never produce a thing like that. Josh, I love you to death. I think I'm going to Texas Rice on Saturday.
Nice.
Are y'all opening at home or on the road?
They're at Indiana, so they got a couple games. I might try to go. We try to go the one a year. So I just got to figure out which one we can get. It was easier when Rachel was job gave her a free ticket every year.
Hey, if I get that CJ Stroud thing popping, like I told you, I'll let you know. All right.
Well, that sounds good, buddy. I'll talk to you guys. Nice hitting y'all up. I'll check y'all next time.
Be safe, man.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Hey man, goddamn,
cricket's going crazy outside. Josh is the most beautiful.
Yeah, you know, it's 87 degrees out there, Fahrenheit. You know what I'm saying, with a balmy. Y'all
niggas, hey, listen.
No, you can tell it. You know, you can tell if you listen to that cricket, you can tell what the weather is out there.
You know, yeah. It just dropped. Yo, I used to work at a trade school. When it got cold, the crickets would fall from the ceiling through the building. Very nasty business.
Yeah,
because when it goes from 98 to 68, the crickets are in the building for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
Going on.
We're betting on the Texas Rice game. Listen, Malcolm, you nigger.
God, that the Hardy are?
Well, damn.
You know what's funny? I blocked Malcolm on social media and then like was kicking it with him at SoFi Stadium because I told niggas don't talk to me crazy about football. I'll block you and forget it, and we can still hang out in real life. I'm not.
I see. Hey, listen, every time I mention goddamn Texas and how I feel about, I don't really care about Texas because they're not in the SEC, right? But like, because I'm a Tennessee fan and both our teams are, you know what I mean, different shades of orange, and there's a T, like, you know what I mean? One is like a bizarro looking one, and one is actually Tennessee. It like, we go, you know what I mean? I get like little reactions from you every time.
Let me ask you a question. So you a Cowboys fan and you a Tennessee fan. Who's your baseball team?
Cleveland.
The Cleveland
Guardians.
You really had fun in 1997, didn't you? Like, that was just shit, wasn't it? I like Major League too. That's my shit. I respect it. Yeah,
they filmed that at Camden Yards down the street.
Yeah, I wasn't even thinking about going to the game. I was like, oh shit, I can like go to like, I've never been to a season opener. I went to Texas LSU the year LSU won the title, and that was a crazy game. You didn't say nothing bad about Texas, but what you did, Malcolm, is you said some slick shit in a reply. And you know how I tell niggas how I react. You can say anything about me. It's not about football. You can't do it. Or about fucking game 6 of the 2013 finals. I really feel the way. That was the same day that the Kanye album came out. So like Bound 2, which I really like, is the worst song in the world to me because that's when Ray Allen hit that fucking 3. So yeah, I'm stuck. Anyway.
Damn, dog. Okay.
Life is hard. True, how much Raw did you watch tonight?
Oof. A big fat 0%.
Well, let me ask you this. So
I was. It's funny because you was talking about Cam Newton. I was just. That's where I was at tonight. So I was at a game. Yeah, I was at the game. So you know.
Shout out to Cal Ripken.
Yeah.
No. Ozzie Smith was better. Keep going, though. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You can break the Iron Man record if most of your career your daddy is the coach. But keep going. I'm sorry.
I was never an Orioles fan because I hated that color orange, and of course I went to Texas. So what do I know, right?
Well, see, I liked the Orioles when I was a kid, but the 2 black dudes on the team, Mike Devereaux, Randy Milligan. This is after Eddie Murray. You know what I'm saying? They, I was like, yeah, there's a couple brothers on the team. Then niggas start popping up at Atlanta and other teams. I was like, what happened? Once the black people went, so did I.
I was a Braves fan when I was a kid because my introduction to wrestling was WCW Saturday Night. So I was with my dad at his apartment in Temple Hills. Y'all know. With my dad at his apartment in Temple Hills, watching WCW Saturday Night and then watching Swamp Thing because that's what we did. But I was a Braves fan because of that. Then when I moved to Wyoming, my baseball team that I played for, like my little league team, was the Braves. So that was like my colors. And then we get the Nationals, who have the same colors. I was like, I'm a Nationals fan. And then what's crazy, I was at BWI for Strasburg's first start, eating a crab cake at the restaurant at BWI, watching him smoke it. So that's my team. Nationals, win, lose, or draw. That's the squad. But with all that to say, true, great show, All In. I think it was really good. One women's match.
Yeah.
WWE tonight, main events with Becky and Zoe in a Falls Count Anywhere match with a crazy finish. Do you think, and you would know better than anybody, did they do that to spite AEW?
No, I don't think they did. Because we've seen like Raw has main evented with women before. You know what I'm saying? And I think they put a lot of emphasis on what this Becky and Trish thing, even though it needs to end now.
Trish even said it. Trish was like, "Yo,
yeah, like
you've been rocking, man. It's about that time."
Yeah, like I think it's time they get it, get it over with. But I think they have put a lot of emphasis on it. I think Becky's arguably, I guess, one of their biggest women, if not their biggest top 3. I don't watch WWE that much, so I feel like I don't know about Rhea, we're not mentioning Bianca and all. We're not gonna mention Bianca and stuff like that because she's in a whole different class in my book. But that's just the nigga in me. You know what I'm saying? So like like I said, I think Becky and Trish. I've caught a little bit of their feud. I agree. It definitely needs to end. But I don't think they did anything to spite AEW or spite All In. And I think All In had an opportunity to really showcase a lot of other people. And I feel like I saw you tweet about it, Athena. I think that was a missed opportunity. Athena's been killing it. And Athena's been one of my favorite wrestlers this entire year. And I think the trios match, to me, I didn't think the trios match on All In needed to be a thing.
So this is Kenny, Ibushi, and Hangman.
No.
The Acclaimed and House of Black.
The Acclaimed and House of Black.
Yeah.
I thought you could have did that at All Out because they essentially went from House of Black with Andrade and that feud to Andrade being off TV for like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And then they went right into Acclaim. It just was scatterbrained. I didn't like how they did that. And I felt like the Acclaim, there was no heat there for them to win. And I felt like the match itself was like okay, but it felt flat because there was not a lot of investment. And so I felt like you had Chris Statlander, who was not on the card at all, who, you know, I would have loved to seen some form of her, Willow Nightingale, Athena. Like, these are all great women's wrestlers who have been killing it. They're killing it what they do. Like, Athena and Willow had a match a couple weeks ago, was fucking phenomenal. And, Stat's been defending her title, and she's been, doing her thing. I feel like there was a missed opportunity, and I think WWE, as petty as they are, I don't think it was. I think they already, I think they had that planned anyway because they're doing the Trish and Becky match. Is that Payback, right? I think it's that Payback, right? Yeah. Something like that. Yeah. So I think they just want to give it. I think they just want to give a little extra oomph to that feud before they close it out. Hopefully they close it out.
My ultimate disappointment is that, and I get why they're doing it, but they're doing Gunther Gable on Raw for the title next week instead of doing it at Payback. And I'm like, yo, that's your main event. Like, that, like, shout out to Seth and Nakamura.
Like, yeah.
That's your main event. Gable and Gunther is your main event. You've built to it great. But I get why they want to do it on Raw. But let me ask you this. And again, you being a bit more tapped in, is Tony refusing to do 2 women's matches on a show to spite people who say he should do it? Or is it just working out like that?
Based on what I know, it's not out of spite. Based on what I know, it's not out of spite. I think his level of excitement and his he thinks the fan base won't receive it the same way. That I think, because let's be real, a large selection of the people that are on Twitter, like we're a vocal minority of wrestling fans. Because when you talked
about earlier,
so when we go to I was at some event a couple months ago. I was at Dynamite a couple months ago, both Dynamite, the one in Baltimore and one in DC. And when I'm there, like I see a lot of people say they didn't like this or they don't care for that. And then you go to the show, and then these people come out and they're like, "Oh, I want to see this person," and that person comes out, they get no pop, they get no kind of no type of love, and it's like, this is a much different reality from Twitter user elite Stan 37.
Keep going.
Yeah, yeah.
I know what Twitter name you, and fam knows too, even though we haven't talked about this. Keep going.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's just like there's so many people who just go and they rant and they do stuff like that, and I think it doesn't reflect. And I think for Tony, and shout out to Lyric Wrestling who asked me that question in the thing. Big shout out to her. And I've said this before. That's why they don't let me in the media rooms, because I ask way worse questions than that shit. You know what I'm saying?
We saluted her earlier for sure. Like it's a tough thing that she does, and salute to her for doing it for sure.
And I've said this, man. Like, it's only a few people in this media realm who is willing to say things that we're all thinking and ask those questions, because everybody else is so worried about, if I ask this question and it goes over wrong, will they revoke my access? And it's like,
but that's a real thing. That's a real thing. And I know. I think what the good answer is, you have to have enough tact to realize you can ask a spicy question, but you got to form it the right way. But if you come in there all claws and teeth, you know what I'm saying, then that's when there's a problem. You know what I'm saying?
And that's why I salute people like Lyric, Phil from Grapsody, who every time he's in a scrum, I always see him ask great questions, and it's like it's worded the right way, it's presented the right way, and I think that's what we need in media, people who are not afraid to ask the questions but still do it respectfully. And I think that was kind of where, when she asked the question, people were like, oh, like people start saying stuff or feeling away, and I'm like, that's a valid question to ask, because we're all thinking it. So, like, if everybody's thinking it, you ask that question. And I don't necessarily think Tony had the best answer in response to that either. I
feel like I feel like the way that it's done, like I love that he is willing to stand in front of almost everybody. Like the other night, just at the scrum, like they asked about Mercedes Moné being in the crowd when Soraya was out of there. I'm trying to be respectful and use the proper names. When they asked it, I saw Tony be like, I don't know what Soraya going to say. So instead of, because the question was asked to her about Mercedes being out there, and immediately Tony was like, listen, she is injured right now and she cannot wrestle. She is here to take in the show, and that is all. And Soraya kept going. He was like, what you ready to say? Because you better, you can't say it. It was funny, but that's, I think there is a good amount of, I don't know if he wants to micromanage everything in that way, or he's just out there to kind of be a shield for his people. But him being out there is somewhat problematic because of like there's all inevitably there's going to be a spicy question asked that is going to make somebody kind of look wild.
Yeah.
And so he's gonna have to jump on that grenade. And I think he has to eventually trust them people, man. You know what I mean? Get somebody slick to run, get somebody that can savvy enough to run the actual scrum. You know what I'm saying? Like a guy like what WWE does with Byron. But like, you know what I mean? You got to get somebody to run it, and you come out at the end.
They got a guy. They already got a guy who could run a scrum, in my opinion.
Say the name.
My man Will, you know what I'm saying?
Who will be so good at it?
Like Will,
so good at it.
Yeah, he's like Will is like Will is hosting Unrestricted, you know, the Restricted podcast now, and I think Will would be the perfect guy to do that because he is professional. He's 100% professional on top of that, and he also knows how to navigate through that media thing because he was media, and that's his expertise, is working in that. So I felt like, but I think Tony is a little meticulous about that, and you know, I think he's also learning from his mistakes too. You know, sometimes if you don't get out in front of a certain few things, or you don't say what you need to say, things can take on a life of his own. So he needs to do that. And you know, like I said, they're still a fairly new company. So
and everybody got to go out there. Everybody don't got to go out there.
Okay. Who's the front man from Jodeci?
Why are we asking this? Why are you asking this question?
Who's the front man? If you had to say who the front man was, who's the front man?
KC, right?
I'm gonna say
it's
so the artist, no, like the artist in me would say KC.
Yeah,
but the producer would say Devontae Swing because he did all the production.
You don't know shit about
producers aren't, normally producers aren't the front people.
That's my thing. Like, Jodeci didn't have a front man. Jodeci had the niggas who sang really hard and the niggas who produced really hard. Like, I think that Tony would benefit from being like, yo, I'll run it, but y'all got to talk to me. Talk to my man. Like, I do think that you can go into a situation, and this is a fault that I had. I thought, because I really loved wrestling and I thought I was really making cool shit, that every interaction I had with anybody on social media would be perfect because I think how hard I work, passion that I have. I didn't realize motherfuckers was gonna hate me, and I have not.
I told you.
You did tell me. We've had that conversation.
I told you.
Like, and the hard part about it was, I would be like, what I'm saying makes perfect sense. Why are they mad? And you'd be like, Cam, no, like,
hey, bro, like, nah, that's not how it works.
But like, that's not how people respond to things. And I was like, oh shit. So yeah, I think Tony would, like, you're right. A Will being in that position would be incredible. Because again, we've talked about this in private. Will got a thick skin that civilians aren't supposed to have. Right? Like
Too thick.
you
Wait.
not
What
gonna
kinda-
shake Will Washington, baby. You
What
not
kinda-
ain't nothing you can say to Will Washington that is.
I don't
going
know
to
if I've
make
seen
you-
him make a face before. Like I don't know if I've seen him
So,
make a face.
fam, it's a story he's told in public, but I don't
Okay.
know if you know this.
No, I definitely don't know the story. Keep going.
So, remember in Colorado when somebody went to a theater and shot up The Dark Knight Rises?
Yeah.
He was in the theater.
Oh, that's an ill story.
Yeah, so like outside of niggas who are really in the struggle, Will's the toughest guy in the entire world. Like
That nigga was still, he was leaving the joke.
You know
Like,
what I'm
man,
saying? Like-
I didn't get to see the end of the movie. He's
he's not worried about this wrestling shit, dog. He'll be fine. So yeah, it's a different type of comfortability that he has. Like, listen, y'all know how bad I'm fighting like this next ringer check to buy a plane ticket and go see them live at fucking Sarcast. I'm fighting it so hard. Like, I want to go see them do that.
Don't get
Just
me
to
started.
celebrate my brothers, right? Like,
Don't get me started. Because you
bro,
know, because
but yeah, you're right. He would be perfect for that because again, you can't. He's unwavering. You can't shake him.
yeah, no. I'll put it like this: Will is he's somebody that it's very few people in this wrestling space that I consider like friends or like my people's, and you know, it's a very small list of people. And I think over the last year or two, I do consider him, you know, say like a friend. So seeing him, you know, not only get the opportunity he has now, but also kind of be able to take, you know, some of the stuff. And you know, there's a couple things I won't speak on, but I do know it is different though when you go from being the media guy getting stuff sent at you to being in a prominent position and seeing your name in like people complain about Tony Khan, now they complaining about Will Washington. That's a whole different ball game. It is a difference where it's like, oh man, this episode of Dynamite sucked. What is Tony and Will over there doing? Like,
funny. That's very,
you know,
that. Yeah, and keep it pushing, man. Shout out to the bro Will, man.
yeah. Shout out to Will, man. Shout out to Will. That's the homie for real.
I
Man,
met him in LA. That was the first time I met him. I think I met him in LA.
That was dark. True. I'm mad that you weren't there, but that was like.
I was mad I wasn't there too. Trust me. Yeah.
Shout out to Andreas Hale, who was like my hero in all of this. That was the most fun morning I can ever recall having, man. It was black wrestling, like it was Grapsody, it was women's wrestling talk, it was those wrestling girls, it was even Alfred. Shout out to Alfred.
Hey, listen, why do people beef?
No, listen. He talked crazy about Grapsody, and that's fair. He really did. And even Will was like, yo, you just gonna dap that man up in front of me? I was like, my bad. My fault. But we was all in the same room. But yo,
I was like, really my first. I met him. I had met him the night before. You know what I mean? And he was like, and the next day he was like, yo, fam. I was like,
yeah, I can't listen. Somebody was like, why are you being nice to him? Like on Twitter. I was like, yo, I'm not gonna like dap a nigga up and kick it and drink with him and then shit on him on the internet. Like,
yeah, no, I'm not gonna do
talking
that.
About like we really kicking it. That was the most fun day, man. I got to celebrate Mimi, who's been so important to me. Like that was, I can't like in Philly. I can't wait till we do that again. That specifically, because
I will be there for that because that's you know. That's round the way. That's round the way. Even though I mean, I to be fair, like I said, I can't reveal like what I'm working on, but it might not be up the way by the time we get to Philly. But you know what I'm saying, Philly is that's a slight move. That's a plane ride.
If they're gonna get down and lay down. When I say niggas, I mean white people, because I don't want no problems. I'm not good out there. It's been too long.
When in Philly?
I don't know. It's been too long. Man, they don't know me. They're like, nigga, who the fuck are you?
Philly light, man. Philly is light. I mean,
let's not go all the way and say it's light.
I'm gonna say it's light, and that's not no disrespect. It's just You know what I'm saying?
That's gonna
Like
be fun, man.
it's good out there. I think if you know how to navigate, move around, you good. Like,
Yeah,
but
just don't jump to the hood. You know what I
We
mean?
was,
yeah,
man. We was in LA. I was moving. That was so fun, man.
I
That
told you
was
be
so
safe
fun.
out there too. I was like, yo, stay away from
Hey,
this.
listen, I went to the hood one time because I needed some Nike sweats, and
This
that was
nigga
it.
was
Like, I
everywhere.
took my hat off.
Yeah, yeah,
I
you
was
got
good.
yeah.
I
LA
was
is
in Nike and Ross getting it in. It was great.
yeah, yeah,
But
but
yeah, man.
nah, for sure, Philly. I'm gonna be there just because I got some stuff I'm working on. I actually might have to be in Philly for it. So that weekend. So you know what I'm saying. Hopefully that all go through like it's supposed to. But yeah, I was mad I missed the LA stuff, man. You know, one because I like LA. You know what I'm saying. A lot of lovely ladies out there in
They
LA. I
was
think.
outside too.
Oh, I know. I know.
I have no
They was-
idea.
I had to listen,
Went to
man.
Fixins,
I had to give
we went
myself a
to-
curfew. I was like, I'm going to the room and I'm going to sleep because it was a lot. It was a lot going on.
Yeah.
Hey man, shout out to
Fam.
Fixins. We went to Fixins for brunch. Oh my gosh.
It was a lot.
Nigga, they had blue Kool-Aid, like, you know what I mean? And you just supposed to order the blue Kool-Aid. And if you want a Hennessy sidecar with it, you could get it. Go to Fixins, the food crazy. I had a fried chicken omelet. They might as well call it niggas. I loved it.
Fried chicken omelet, yo, that's
It was
fire.
It was amazing.
That's on the gang. That's fire.
Fam, we are gonna try this and do this again when it's time to do it again. We will make sure we drop the link so everybody can jump on. You can speak your piece. This went twice as long as we thought it was going to.
Absolutely.
But we go with what the community goes with, so we'll do that. Y'all, have a great night. Enjoy your wrestling. Enjoy your lives. And we're out.